Girl, say yeah!
Look at that big, juicy booty.
Hot like a tamale!
Be offended.
Do you love black people? Negro.
You know the thing.
Here, next.
Don't be rude. You ain't black.
Shawn Cav.
You're going to have a flame coming out of your butthole.
Heartfelt.
A man and a woman.
All right. Hey, how we doing?
What's up, dude?
Hey, I'm glad to see you're healthy and able to do the stream today.
Yeah, I am alive.
Well, you had me worried there for a minute.
Yeah, sleep schedule already is a, interesting thing for me. And with being sick, it was not any better.
Yeah, well, your sleep schedule always gets me because, like, I know you're like 3 hours behind me, and yet you're still like messaging me like when I'm waking up in the morning. So I'm like, this motherfucker just doesn't sleep.
Yes, I'm a vampire.
And then when you do sleep, like you sleep until like, I don't know, like 5 p.m. my time or whatever, which is like 2 for you or something. And then you're up and about doing stuff. I'm like, man, he just slept all day. But I'm like, well, yeah, because you were up all night.
That's me.
When you grow up, you're gonna realize that that's not a way to live your life.
I know, right? Jesus. Yeah, and so I've just been sick as fuck, laying on the couch. And then, of course, since, we live in the same house, Jen gets sick.
Yep.
And then that was fun because we were both sick, whiny babies, and we had to take care of each other at the same time. So that's always great.
Yeah.
It's always fun. I'm like, and of course, because, you're the husband, you want to be nice to your wife. So you, like, give them the bed and you take the couch. But then the whole time you want to be like, you little turd. Like, you get the nice, comfy-ass bed to get to sleep, and I get to take the couch while I'm sick. Like, what's going on here?
Wait a minute. If you're both sick, then like you're not passing anything back and forth. Like you both got it.
Yeah, I know. But at that point, I'm just like, you know what? Just stay. We just need to both, like, stay separate so we don't give it back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth. We've done that before.
No, because you'll both get over it at the same time, where you'll have the immunities for whatever the virus is. If it literally is the same thing, as long as you guys aren't out there getting like different weird viruses and giving it back and forth to each other that way, then like you should be able to build antibodies.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It happened once before.
Science.
It happened once before, where like I got sick and then I gave it to her. And then I was getting better, and she was still sick, and then I got sick again, and then like I gave it back. It was weird. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not even fucking with any of that shit anymore. Anytime we're sick, I'm just gonna fucking stay away.
There you go.
I don't understand science to the point where I can be like, yeah, that's the way it works. I'm just like, no, it happened. I'm gonna go based off of my experience.
Fine. You guys do whatever works for your house.
I don't trust in the science. Okay, I don't trust the science. Fuck the science.
Not even the real science that has been proven to work.
No.
Like, not. I mean, the make believe science. I totally understand like your hesitation on that, but like, when it comes to like actual proven, like this is how our bodies work. Like, I don't know. I put a little bit of stock in that, maybe.
Every once in a while. I'm the type of person the Pixar didn't happen. Fucking seeing is believing, and I saw the
Pixar didn't happen.
Yeah, that to me. You know what happened? I saw pics of both of us fucking sick again and again and again and again. Yeah, dude. So I've been kind of a little bit out of the loop. I've been trying to not, because usually. Watching politics and seeing the stupidity in the world, it doesn't make you anything besides more stressed out. And
right.
I was like, you know what? I don't think being sick and then stressed as well and more headaches is going to be a good idea. So I've just kind of stayed out of the loop on that one. But I have been watching Ozark, so that's good.
Ozarks is great, man. Like that was one of those shows that, like, my wife kind of turned me on to it, and it was just funny because, like, when I first came across her watching it, every time I came upstairs, it was like a gay scene. So like I was like, "What is this gay stuff you're always watching on my TV?" And then like she's like, "No, it's a good show." I'm like, "Yeah, I bet it is." Like Queer Eye and all the rest of them that you watch constantly. And then like and then she's like, "No, really, it's good. It's not just like daytime like stay at home wife like television. Like it was like a good thing." I'm like, "All right, well, maybe I'll check it out." At this point, like I saw so many guys making out on the show. I just like, like I don't know if this show is going to be for me or not.
Yeah,
And
that first season had a lot of gay.
Yeah, there's a lot of gay in that one. And so eventually I was like, all right, fine, I'll sit down, I'll watch the first episode. I'm like, oh wait, you know what? This is actually pretty good. And then like after that I was kind of hooked. And I was like, yep, no, Ozarks is great.
Yeah, dude, just watched we just finished season 3 and we're about I'm a couple episodes ahead of her on it because I watched it last night before I went to bed, or I guess this morning, whatever. Yeah, dude, that the end of season 3 when when that lawyer just gets fucking blown away, I was like, holy shit! Like, I mean, I knew some shit like that was gonna happen down there.
Yep.
But like when that actually happened, it was right there. I was like, holy fuck, dude. Yeah, and like I went back and I rewound it because like I just was like, how quickly, you know what I mean? Like because I didn't really even like process like who actually shot and like whatever, and it was the same dude who she even was like, she was like, hey, if you get the call on me, you'll let me know, right? And he's like, yeah. Nope. He didn't. It was that Nelson dude,
right? And in some other news, I was busy like trying to get do some more like marketing for us and whatnot for the podcast and everything. So besides us being on like Getter, we also have a channel on Telegram now.
I saw something about that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I created that, and it's not like any kind of like, it's not like a chat or anything like that. It's literally like a way to send out a mass message to people who really want to know what's going on with like the show and stuff like that. So that's something that I'm definitely going to be trying to push a little bit because I think most people have used Telegram or know of Telegram at this point.
Yeah.
So like and like basically a channel is just like a text message like a mailing list.
Yeah.
So like you send out like a post and then it goes to everybody who subscribes to that, like as if they have their notifications on for that.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's going to be a great way to just kind of like get the links out quick. And hey, Ian's not feeling so good today. We're going to move the stream where Shawn's got this going on today. So, we're moving this to that date or whatever. So it's just like a quick like update is like, I mean, because like with Twitter, I think like, the biggest problem with Twitter is like, people tend to follow like a lot of accounts, and like sometimes like if the algorithm isn't in your favor, like you won't get seen.
Yeah.
So that's I think this is just like a fail safe for that. So if you prefer to use Twitter, by all means, we're still going to be on there. You'll be able to look us up and still see that like what we're saying. But some
people don't.
Yeah, and if you don't look up the names sometimes, then like at least then on Telegram it's going to be like right there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's just another thing. That's all it is.
It's another fucking thing.
Yeah, I set you up as an admin on there, so you can do that as well.
Yay!
Hooray!
Dude, yeah, my brain is like not there right now.
Yeah, and what else? I set up my own solo.to like link thing.
Saw that. That's fucking awesome.
Well, I had to. I felt it was time because I now I got all these links attached to me constantly. I'm like, right, well, how do I share these and make it simple for myself without like having to overdo it? And that seemed to be like the best way.
Yeah, it's easy, and it's the thing I like about it too is that it's like it's a short web address. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
I can't beat that.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like the bit.ly stuff. You know what I mean? It's just quick, to the point. It's not like this /channel/ whatever. You know,
YouTube/C/ like,
I know. Hey, at least we got the Til Death Podcast network like on there instead of like 40 fucking random numbers and letters.
Yep, exactly.
That shit was annoying. But okay, so tell me what's going on in the world, Sean.
What's going on in the world? I guess
yes, exactly.
The big news just today, like, was and it happened like a couple hours ago, was Gavin McInnes is back.
Yeah, you sent me a picture about that. That's so what's the deal with that?
Well, from what I understand, like, he just posted the picture and said, like, I'm doing an episode tonight, but I'm gonna be phoning it in, which to me sounded like he was going to be on the phone doing it. Yeah. I'm like, oh, is he gonna call in? Is he gonna call into the show? Yeah. Yep. I turned on the episode for a little bit tonight just to kind of see what was gonna happen, and yeah, literally, it's Ryan. He takes out his phone and he puts it on top of the boombox next to the microphone, and it's just Gavin talking from the phone in there. But like, they're still playing the prank, even though everyone knows it's a prank now.
It's for sure a prank? I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah, no, we've confirmed 100% that it's a prank, and and like, it kind of happened in like a shitty way though, because like, I don't know, it was like definitely like a weird Rorschach type thing. Like, what do you think is going on? What do you think's happening here? And then like Owen Benjamin came out, and like that was one of the things we could have talked about too. But like, I think it's fine if we do that in the space, because we got plenty of other stuff to talk about tonight. But so like Owen Benjamin came out and he put out a video, I think on his like Instagram or something, and it was him talking about the fact that he had a conversation with Gavin about like, dude, a lot of people are really worried about you there, Blair. And he was like saying, like, it was getting DMs about him being raided or swatted, and then he's like, oh, it's a prank, I'm on vacation, or something along those lines, and he says, don't tell anybody. And he says, well, okay, when do you plan on telling anybody? He's like, I'm not. He said he's never gonna tell anyone. And he's like, you're never gonna tell anybody that you got raided? He's like, I never said I got raided. And so he was gonna play like one of those kind of like, I never said that, so you people said that type. That was like the logic behind it. And like,
that's funny.
It's true, because like, a lot of people just started projecting. Like, that was the whole thing. Like, people started projecting as to what was happening, because nobody ever saw a police officer in the studio. It was just merely him standing up talking to somebody, but like, chances are he probably just went on vacation with his wife, and there's nothing wrong with taking a vacation from like the show, whatever. I think Crowder takes like a month off every year.
Yeah, Crowder takes a month off every year. I know Dave Rubin does. So
yeah, I mean, people they definitely deserve to have some time off and like, doing like the family thing or whatever.
Just an interesting way to do that.
Yeah, but I so I kind of thought, I was like, hey, it was a little bit of a shitty prank, but it was a prank nonetheless. So you just gotta have to laugh it off. Like, all right, whatever. Did it hit everybody's funny bone? No, but like, who cares?
Yeah, I think it's funny too. I just, my opinion on stuff like that too is especially because of the situation that Gavin's in, or that he's been, the situations he's been in, is like, at some point, some stupid shit like that's gonna happen, and then it's like a boy who cried wolf kind of thing. You know what I mean? That's the way I feel with a lot of it. Like when people call people racist, or call people Nazis, or call people any of this stuff, it's like, it's a boy who cried wolf situation. We're gonna be like, no one's gonna care when there's someone who actually is racist, or actually is sexist, or, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Because they're gonna get desensitized to it.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, but like,
so it's like funny, but
yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of like, whatever. Like, it was a prank, and like, I kind of called it from the very beginning. Like, when I first saw the live stream, I was like, there's this weird jump cut that happened, and then like, I just immediately thought like, that totally feels like it's a prank. And like to me, like that was all that needed to be said. Like that should have been it. But then like it turned into this whole thing where like even the other commentators on the network were going off about it and this and that. Well, tonight was his first time back, and like they still were trying to keep the prank alive by saying like it was like one of those automated a call coming in from such and such detention center.
Yeah.
You have
to
to
accept the charges.
Yeah, do you accept the charges? You know, and this call will be monitored.
I mean, that's funny.
Yeah, so like they had that like in the beginning of the phone call. So like they still aren't like that. They're trying to keep the joke alive now, you know, like
yeah.
So I mean, I appreciated that. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, I mean, if they're like, "Oh, we're being dicks," let's continue to be dicks.
Yeah, might as well. If people are already pissed off, and like that's the one thing I think. I think even like Josh Cash noticed before, it was like people just lost like a lot of sense of humor over the thing, and people were like, "I'm going to unsubscribe because you pulled a prank on us." It's like, really? Like that's
okay,
all it took? That's all it took?
Exactly.
Well, like that's not a reason to like get all butthurt, you know? I mean, like, yeah, some people are taking it very seriously because of like, you know, like some people are under the microscope and this and that, but Gavin was not one of the guys under the microscope necessarily. I mean, like probably for different reasons, but not for like the Jan 6 thing, which everyone thought that he was going to be under the microscope for.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just kind of like, you just laugh it off, move on. Now it's time to get back to work. Let's get some live streams going.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, you know, some people have even dumber haters than we do.
Yeah, how about that?
dude, yeah, I mean, not to get super into it, but I saw that and I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Well, you know what's funny? It's like now anymore, I just don't even give a fuck. Because like now it's like, oh, wow, like you're going to come at us again and you're going to basically say the same shit. This time she didn't give us any death threats. So that's...
Or say that we should be put on death row.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was the first time. The first time she said that we deserve the death penalty or whatever. But like now it's just like, oh, you guys belong behind bars. Why? For fucking reading a goddamn article? Is this like, are you a brown shirt? Like part of the Nazi party now? You like, no reading. You cannot read and you cannot repeat these articles that you are reading.
You can't make jokes. Okay, well then leave. If you don't like it, you don't have
get
to
the fuck over it at this point. Like, so like, you know, the first time I kind of felt bad. I was like, yeah, but we didn't do anything wrong. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just take the high road on this one. And then you're going to go and you're going to try and double down and comment again on like a different platform, the same shit. You know what? Fuck off. Like, this is just stupid now. Like, you've lost any kind of credibility. You are just, obviously she is just like she's like on something, you know, something that probably, you know, spelled like math, but different vowel. And, you know, she's on that and commenting. She's going on rampages online. Just like,
it probably, you know, she probably just runs in the family, you know, it's just a little messed up.
But the funny thing is that, like, you know, like, you know, like we gave her condolences and we said that, you know, it sucks for like the family, blah blah blah, the whole bit, like, you know, but like then you're gonna still come after us for just basically reading like an article. I hope she's also going after everybody else who's got like massive followings, like that are going talking about the topic, because
I mean
wait until like Ricada Law actually starts covering that like court case or something like that, because like that's gonna be like a live.
Oh, it's gonna be good.
You know
it's gonna be good. Yeah. No, I kind of doubled down. I watched back what we said about that when I fucking started talking, and I was like, ooh. I played it back for Jen, and she was like, Jesus, babe.
Oh, like what you said in the second one?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to tell you not to, but like I was like, yeah, you definitely went a little extra on that one, but like
a little spicy.
Yeah, little much
extra
on that
garlic
one. But
on that one. Yeah.
You know what? At least it was you on camera doing that one. We all have our blunders and we all make mistakes, you know. But like at least I can say that one wasn't mine.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? And to be completely honest, now after seeing there was a second, thing that she decided to do, I'm fine. I'm fine with it. You know what I mean?
No, exactly. The fact that she's still like, hey, those whiskey capitalist guys. Like,
exactly.
really?
Go fuck yourself.
But
what do you do?
I don't know what else is really kind of like popping off in the world besides that at the moment. I mean, like, there's always like dumb shit. There's always something with that, like Janine, like the press secretary. Like there's Pierre, whatever fucking name is. There's always something like she can't do math. It's like 10,000 million. Like she slipped that out.
The 10,000 million. Okay, because I saw someone on Twitter put 10,000 million, and I was like, hey, idiot. What the fuck are you doing? And
that's making fun of her. It's making fun of her for saying that. Yeah.
And it's one of those things too where it's like, because I mean, obviously, there's plenty of conservatives that are complete dumbasses, and they like, and they spell something wrong or they say something wrong or whatever. And as you're reading it, you're like, I agree with your point, but you're so fucking dumb. Like,
they're just so unrefined. There are a lot that are just kind of like, fuck Joe Biden, and it's like, okay, but like, well, no, I don't know. To me, it feels really generic. It feels kind of like lame. I don't know.
It's just like the grammar and the complete like bumfuck ass English that they fucking use, and it's like, okay, I want to agree with you, but I can't. I don't agree. You know what I mean? Like, I don't agree with
I think it's a matter of just unrefined arguments where it's just kind of like, oh, well, fuck you then. It just kind of, it always reverts into that.
Yeah,
and
I'm just like, dude, like, okay, you need to stop speaking because I know you think you're doing good, but you're not. You're making us look dumber. And that's like, when I see shit like that, like the 10,000 million, I'm like, dude, stop. And then you tell me it's from them, and I'm like, oh, yeah, keep going. Fucking slay, queen.
Yeah, that's essentially what that was. But yeah, there was that. I mean, like, I know we're going to get into the whole Biden versus Trump speeches for Pennsylvania tonight.
Oh, good God. Good God. I'm like, how do you not? I know we're going to get into it, but like, how do you not look at that backdrop and like, oh, oops.
How do you not see V for Vendetta? Like, that's the whole like propaganda. Like, that's the whole party right there. And
the best one I saw on Twitter though was the fucking Temple of Doom.
Yeah, Temple of Doom was great. Yeah,
dude, I audibly laughed out loud when I saw that. I was like, oh my God, dude, like that's great.
Yeah, that one's been floating around a lot lately. I've been seeing it a lot, but like, I don't know, just comparing the two speeches and whatnot, it's just like, it was mind blowing to think that anybody, and like, of course, like the left goes completely silent, like after Biden's speech, because just like anything else, whenever there's like a blunder on the right, like typically conservatives will go quiet, or some will actually call them out and be like, that was fucking dumb, or that was stupid, or whatever. And like, but like the left does not punch left. Like they refuse to go after anybody who's like on their side at any time.
Exactly. And it's an accountability thing. And go figure, they're the same party that, doesn't have accountability for, violence in the, in inner cities and, like all these things that like should be held accountable no matter what race or what, whatever, section of, the people that it is. Like, you should have the accountability. And like the amount of times that conservatives have pulled something stupid, and like, like even Crowder, when I forgot exactly what Ted Cruz did, but he said something fucking stupid, and Crowder had him on the show that day and was like, hey, what are you doing? Like, you can't be doing this, you know what I mean? And then Dan Crenshaw, fucking good old Eye Patch McGee, like he's an absolute fucking rhino, and everyone is calling him out, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So I just don't. It just sucks because it's like, it's just accountability, dude. And like I think that
his biggest blunder
I think that speaks to everything as a whole, as a society now, is like no one has the accountability to be like, yeah, I fucked up,
Yeah, it was Dan Crenshaw's biggest blunder was siding with like the red flag laws. That was for sure like his biggest mistake.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like,
going along with that.
What'd you do in the military? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to be that guy, but Pete Davidson had a funny joke, and I'm gonna laugh at it now because it wasn't too funny until you realize that he's a fucking trash bag of a human.
Yeah, and like I was talking to a couple different people over the weekend, and I remember like one of the parts of the conversation, because me and this one guy, we usually get into like politics and this and that. And, he I don't think he's necessarily left, but he's not right, and like he's kind of like, I don't know, I would want to say centrist, but I feel like centrist is kind of like a fence sitter. He's just kind of like black pilled, where like fuck them all. Like I hate Republicans, I hate Democrats. Like and like he was going on about Democrats are owned by China, and the Republicans are owned by Russia, and this and that. And I'm like, dude, no, fuck that. It's Democrats are owned by China and Ukraine. The rhinos are owned by Ukraine because they're all fucking laundering money and spying on each other through that shit. And when nobody is siding with fucking Russia. Fuck Russia, this is like, and like when I say fuck Russia, it's like, fuck Vladimir Putin more than anything, because he's the one that's really pushing. The Russian people should not have to be subjugated to everyone's fucking hate as much as the party and like the leader or the prime minister who's running that fucking country.
It's kind of I've said, I mean, I'm sure you said it too, but like, there's nuance in everything to me personally. And I think, like, obviously Russia has always been, the fucking Red Scare and, like all the, it's fucking communist and, whatever forever. But what I can't, and I'm not in any way saying that Putin is a great person, but I can understand to a point where he's coming from when he was pissed off about the whole Ukraine shit before it went off, because there was an agreement that wouldn't be adding any other countries to NATO. And what did we do? We added more countries to NATO. So I can understand on that premise alone why he'd be like, fuck y'all. You know what I mean? I can understand that. Not saying that it's right what he's done or his way of going about whatever, but I can understand him being like, all right, you ain't gonna fucking live by your fucking agreements. Go fuck yourselves.
Yep.
I can understand that point, but but fuck Putin. It's just I hate the fact that people are so, and I'm not saying that I'm not pigheaded. I don't have tunnel vision on certain things, here and there, but but at the same time, it's like we're so incapable of seeing a broader picture or seeing the chess pieces on the table. We just see this is our side, this is our party, this is our viewpoint and our bias, and this is what we want to win, instead of being like, hey, this whole shit is kind of ridiculous on both sides.
Yeah, I tend to think that I personally am pretty receptive to other people's like opinions or thought processes and stuff like that, or even point of views. Like where like I might have like a certain like outlook and opinion myself, and then if somebody comes at me like, oh no, because of this or whatever, I'm like, well, I see your point, but like doesn't necessarily mean that I agree with it or not. I don't think so. It's just like, but I'm pretty open to always being able to see like another perspective. Like I kind of think that I'm pretty good at that. And but like the hard part for me is always kind of like trying to then tell them like, no, but this is why you're wrong, or this is why I think this is incorrect because this or this, and like I try to like keep my thoughts organized, but I'm telling you, sometimes like it can be a real pain in the ass, like having any kind of conversation like that when like try and convince somebody to change their mind or be like that persuasive and this and that. Like, I mean, like I'm no master debater, but like, but like, I tend to think I try to bring up some decent points. I mean, I think I've won a couple of arguments at airport lobbies, like just sitting there around the bar when people start talking to me about shit. Like I got into one about Fetterman before, And again, like even this weekend, I was talking to one of my buddies, and he was like, "Oh, well, Fetterman's going to legalize weed. Like, is that why you want to vote for Fetterman?" And he's like, "Well, that's one of the reasons why. Like, what other reasons could you possibly have to vote for a socialist like Fetterman, who's never had any real jobs? He's been so sick that he's refused to do any debates or any kind of campaigning. He's just basically sitting around in his hoodies, and then he does like little videos or shows up at like one school or does this or does that, does like a couple of little tiny speeches for like tiny classrooms, and honestly." And this is not me speaking on behalf of Oz either, because Oz to me is a rhino. Like I don't care for Oz at all, and I think that
I don't know
kind
why
of
Trump.
race.
I don't know why Trump fucking endorsed him.
I don't know. It was a bad move.
Yeah.
And like that's again like me being critical of like a leader that I think would be a great like U.S. president, but like here like you made a bad call, dude. Like this is not the move. This is not the guy you want representing like Pennsylvania and this and that. And like for me, it's like right in my backyard, because we got like Fetterman and like Philly and like Oz is like New Jersey or whatever. Like it's just like that.
Yeah.
That's a constant joke, but like it's true. And like this guy is just like, oh no, I have property in Pennsylvania. Yeah, you have property in Pennsylvania. You don't live here though. And
yeah, exactly.
I don't know. The whole thing is just so stupid. I don't like Oz for the fact that like he's running off of an endorsement. That's really all he's got going for him. And like, because what was he before this? He was a snake oil salesman, like going around selling like diet pills and shit like that. Like really, this is the guy that you really want to like have representing like the state of Pennsylvania in Congress? No. And Fetterman is just going to try and push socialist agendas, like so that's another one where it's like, nope, can't have that either. But we have no other fucking choice. So like being a conservative, we are basically in a rock and a hard place of like logic, of just trying to be logical in this entire thing. So it's like, I guess we go with Oz because like what's our other choice? Socialism? Fuck that.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it sucks. You got the between a rock and a hard place, and it's so sad that people that would support. I haven't followed too much up on the Fetterman thing. It's more in your neck of the woods, and I know I probably should, but at the same time, it's just like, okay, so you're saying that, like, okay, so basically being a one issue voter. With the whole, legalizing weed thing, it seems like that's his big thing from what you're telling me, and so that means that not only is he only like, promoting that, or really only promoting that, and not really campaigning, not really doing outreach and doing anything like that, but then so you are playing into the fact that he thinks that his voters are stupid because that's all they care about, and if I do this, then I'll get all the votes. And so you're playing into that, and you're actually being as stupid as he's saying you are. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, hey, you know what, dude? I was a fucking stoner since I was fucking 15. You know what I mean? Like and I quit. I haven't smoked anything in over a year. Smoked any weed in over a year, which is pretty awesome for me, and I'm pretty sure anyone that has been my friend over those many years would be like, holy fuck, what are you talking about? You don't smoke weed. But I think I still think that that's a an interesting issue, because people want to say, oh, you can't get addicted to weed. Yeah, you can. It's and I was one of those people like, oh yeah, you can't get addicted, and then I'm like, and then when I went through withdrawals and panic attacks and like all that stuff after quitting, I'm like, that definitely obviously was an addiction. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah, and like I mean, the same thing happens with like alcohol. Alcohol is very addictive, but like we can get that like at any any store, gas stations even,
exactly.
Like, it's readily available.
I'm just saying there's disingenuous talking points, and there's disingenuous information that comes out. But I mean, just like with anything. So I mean, it's a weird issue for me, because it's like, we legalize that, then we legalize everything. I don't know. I'm not very libertarian when it comes to that point. I personally don't think that, because I think that just leaves us open for so many other issues, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, so.
I hear you.
Ugh.
I'm scoping through some of the what's trending right now, and Kanye West is trending again, but like, you know, it's
what the
because
fuck did he do now?
well, it's because of the shit that he's been posting. I guess like I think it's on his Instagram or something like that, where it's his Instagram where he's posting like messages, and it's about like Kim Kardashian. Like one of the funniest ones I saw was like, Kim has diarrhea a lot, like way more than normal person should have it. And then like the next message is a message from her saying like, please stop posting our private text messages on Instagram. He goes, bitch, I know you're texting this from the toilet.
You know what? Kanye's crazy, but he's kind of funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's fucking funny.
Dude, okay, I'm sorry. One of the funniest bits of TV that has ever come out is not what he said about George Bush, but Mike Myers' face when he said it. When he said George Bush don't care about black people, and you see Mike Myers' face like,
yeah. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what to say. Hey, we got West Sounds podcast. West Sounds podcast here. It's gonna get you approved for some chit chat. Welcome. You are live. You just unmute yourself and join on in, then, buddy.
What's up, boys? It is your resident floppy titty Aladdin parody writer.
Yes, I was wondering. I was like, wait, hold on. I've been sick for the past week, so I was like, wait, what the fuck happened last week? Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has.
It's been a week.
So
It's
been a week.
Yep.
What did you come up with?
So the best one that I came up with was a parody to Prince Ali that is re-entitled Prince Big D.
Nice.
And it is the premise of the song is that Prince Ali is just absolutely hung. Hold on, let me find my notes for it.
Well, that's why he wears those big MC Hammer pants, right?
Exactly.
I can't touch this.
It's like big old parachute pants, UFOs.
Hammer don't hurt him.
Can't wait to hear this thing.
Yes, I know. I'm excited.
Is there going to be like music too?
Hello?
I don't know.
Sorry,
The
when I went into
suspense
the
is
app,
building.
when I went into the app, it mutes me because it's a recording app too. So it's
okay.
yeah. The chorus of the song goes, Prince Big D, and out is he, drowning in boobies. Show some tits and girls get down on your knees.
I hear it.
Yeah,
I hear it. Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
The lyrics will be in your guys' DMs shortly. Hold on.
Okay.
Sweet.
Okay. Oh, I'm very excited.
Now, Ian, are you going to be able to put this to like video?
I will, believe me, I will try my damnedest. Okay, are you sending it to the whiskey capitalist one?
I'll send it to both. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's amazing. Because I mean, it's not like, you know, Disney's a very, you know, children's company anymore. What with the twerking? That was so bad, dude.
What, She-Hulk?
Like,
or what?
Yeah, dude. Like, I mean,
I keep on wanting to bring that up to you too, Ian. I was like, oh, dude, like, here's your Marvel Comics universe just going down the drain right now.
Hey, you know what? Not everyone can make, you know, grade A content. Is all I'll say. I haven't watched any of the She-Hulk shit yet, but
it's not good.
But I saw
it's
yeah.
It's not even a coherent story. Like it annoys me when they interject bullshit into good
the
stories.
wokeness.
Yeah, wokeness and all of that into actually well-written, well-thought-out narratives that it makes sense.
Dude.
But this is not a compelling narrative. The lawyer parts of the show, like the actual law parts, like the parts that would actually be good, are not well written. The writers themselves have admitted that they weren't good at writing law scenes, so they didn't include a lot of that in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's when someone's like, "Hey, you're gonna do a lawyer show," they're like, "Okay, cool. Let's not do anything to make that part good."
If they wanted to
That
do a
should be
lawyer
first.
show, why didn't they just do like another Harvey Birdman or something like that? Attorney at law.
Well, I mean, it sucks too because like if you go back into the comics, like She-Hulk was provocative, she was feminist, she was like all that. So it's not like it's far off to have her in like sexualized situations, but like that just it's like it's not even about the fact that she's twerking. Like that's kind of fucking disgusting, whatever. But it's also that like it was CGI as fuck. You know what I mean?
I don't get how
you can see when she's like slapping her ass. I'm like, dude, you're 4 miles away from her, from her ass doing that.
I don't get how the CGI for the actual Hulk, like the actual Hulk CGI, is so good and so compelling, and like it actually looked like Mark Ruffalo, and how hers is so terrible. Like it's awful.
Yeah, hers just looks like green makeup.
Yeah, which it would have been better if they just did green makeup, honestly.
Yeah. I don't know, and the thing, one of the things that bugged me too is like I think in the first episode or whatever, when it was first coming out, I guess that she was talking about how like getting catcalled and blah blah blah. So I deal with having to hold in my anger and blah blah blah. And it's like, bitch, this dude his dad killed his mom. He like couldn't fuck his girlfriend because the Green Mile, and like you know what I mean. He had to he had to. Like he had to be banished. Like a bunch of his friends died. Then like half of his new friends in the Asgardians fucking got wiped out. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It just seems like okay, you got catcalled. Ooh.
Yeah. Your feelings got hurt. Boo.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, so someone said that you were attractive? I'm so sorry for you, you fucking whiny bitch.
Well, and I hated
Damn.
everything about that first episode, especially because they took all of the work and growth that Hulk had been through throughout most of the MCU, and they just crumpled that up and threw it in the garbage, and we're like, oh yeah, he's now a controlling jerk that is an asshole to everyone and thinks that he's smarter than everyone. Like he was in his only solo movie, he was controlling and overbearing and trying to control everything. That's why he turned into the Hulk, because he was trying to do experiments on himself, was because he was over controlling. Yeah. And so to just undo all of that characterization and have it go back to him being controlling again, it pisses me off.
Yeah, and I mean, and honestly, you can kind of understand it to a point though, because like he kind of almost single-handedly figured out time travel. Just saying, that's kind of gnarly. You know what I mean? Like, so I mean, if he's gonna be a little controlling, a little egotistical, like, hey, I'm the smartest dude in the room. Well, yeah, Tony Stark ain't around anymore.
Yeah. If Tony Stark isn't in the room, he is.
yeah, exactly. So he's the smartest dude alive now. So I'd be a little bit like, yeah, what's up? And my, dick is huge. So what's going on?
So, actually, I did actually get a chance to see the new Elvis movie over the weekend too. And,
okay.
I just had to say that there's so much like bullshit in that movie too, where I was really bummed about it. Like, so like there was these I actually had to break it up into 2 evenings because it was like 2.5 hours long, and I was like, all right, I'm exhausted, I'm gonna tune in for the second half of it the next day. And I'm kind of glad I did, because like the first half of that movie was bullshit, and then the second half was actually pretty good. If they would have just did like the second half as like a movie all to itself, that would have actually been like a pretty good like biopic about Elvis. Now, the reason the first half of it sucked so bad was because, like, when you watch a biopic movie, you really kind of want it to be about the fucking artist that's like it's supposed to be about. But instead, it didn't at all. Like the first half of the movie is all about just the time period and civil rights movements and this and that, where it's like about like segregation and It's about just equal rights for this or that or whatever, and like black people getting taken advantage of in the music industry and this and that, and it's like, all right, well, I understand these are things that happened, but like, does this have anything to do with Elvis? I was like so baffled by that. So then like the next day, my dad comes by and I'm like, hey, so let me ask you a few questions, because like you were like of age and when Elvis was like a thing and everything. So like, was he like an activist? Because like this movie painted him to be like a civil rights activist. I was like, was he like an activist? Did he like come out as like for any side of like politics or this or that? I was like, no, never. He never did any of that type of stuff. Like, okay, so and then I told him like everything that was going on in the movie. Like, well, that's woke bullshit. Like, yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's woke bullshit that's going on in the movie. And one of the things that bothered me the most, and I thought it was the dumbest move that whoever, like, if it was a director's call or producers or whoever, but when Elvis would go to like the black part of town and it was like the rough part of town,
yeah,
they would play rap music and like Cardi B music, like from like the speakers and this and that. Like so, like they were trying to give you this. Yeah, they were trying to give you this really urban vibe to like a black town. But the thing is, if you look, the black town, the black city that they're in is super clean. Every single black guy on the street is wearing a suit, and like it's just like it's honestly. Today that would be like a really nice community. Like it's like, oh wait, you're trying to give this bad impression of like a town in a time period where this was not that bad.
Yeah, it's like, okay, if you're gonna go by woke standards, you're gonna say, you know what I mean? Like,
it should have been more thuggy. It should have been like but the thing is like that's not what was going on that time period. Like it wasn't like, I mean, yes, there were gangs, but this is also before, like, we're talking about late 50s, like this is like a red-lined kind of town, and like this is just people living their lives in like a segregated like part of town. There wasn't like like the Black Panthers or nothing like that. It wasn't like any kind of like civil rights movements like that yet. Because when was Martin Luther King shot? Like in 63 or 62?
Yeah, somewhere around there, yeah.
And like they made a big stink about that. So that was another thing I asked my dad, because I had to pick his brain about this shit, because how many shows have we fucking watched on TV where it's like they act as though the world fucking stopped when MLK was shot, right? Like I watched like Mad Men, like the whole world stopped. Every single like time period piece when they bring up MLK and they say, oh my god, he was shot, like it seems like the world stopped. So I asked him, like, is that really what it was like? Like, did the world stop when that happened? Was it like endless news coverage or what was going on? I was like, no, not really. I mean, like everyone was kind of like surprised that it happened, and then like everyone kind of moved on. Like so like to me, like I don't know, maybe we're being fed this type of like I don't know if it's like, I don't want to call it necessarily propaganda, but we're being fed like a point of view that maybe wasn't necessarily true of the time.
Yeah,
and
we're being
I wasn't there, so I don't know.
History. We're being retaught history, saying that this was, and it's like, dude, like if you really want to go, like if you really want to like talk about it, it's like all of the policies and all the ways that MLK felt back then. If someone were to do the same thing now, I don't know, maybe like a Thomas Sowell or a Larry Elder or like any of these, the black people that are, speaking the same types of shit, they would be called the blackface white supremacy. Yeah. Sorry.
And I think they barely touched on the fact that JFK got shot. Like when in 63, I think they barely even touched that in the Elvis thing. So like, they're talking about all these things that are happening around them, but it's all like related to civil rights movement activity. And like one of the biggest things that happened like in like well obviously 63, but in the 60s was JFK getting shot, and that was just kind of brushed over. Like, okay, well yeah, like that happened, but what about all of this? And like, and then I'm realizing like this movie is such bullshit. Like, when are we gonna fucking talk about Elvis?
Yeah, exactly. It's ridiculous, dude. It's like okay, then make another movie that's about the civil rights era, but don't.
Yeah, if you wanted to make a civil rights movie, don't call it fucking Elvis.
Yeah, exactly. It's and obviously there's the thing that that everyone knows that Elvis, he didn't. I don't know if I want to say he stole black music, but he definitely was influenced by it, and he
He was 100% influenced by black music, and but I would say there's a difference between being influenced by it and especially in that time period. That time period was if you played a black hymn or a standard back then a blues standard, everybody did it. There wasn't any copyright, so everybody fucking stole tune. I guess you could call it stole tunes and kind of borrowed this or that. Jerry Lee Lewis was just as guilty, and that was his big moneymaker. Same thing with Led Zeppelin. We're talking about bands that don't have fucking original music necessarily. It's all just kind of hey, they ripped it off of old black hymns.
Yeah. And and it's also one of those things too where it's I know it's a hard thing to wrap your head around, but if you especially back then, there was a lot more racial tension, a lot more this and that, and it's so if there's a bunch of white people that aren't going to listen to black music or anything like that, when there's someone that's white that does it, then yeah, it's going to become more popularized because I don't know, just based on math, there's more white people than there are black people in the country.
Well, they utilized Elvis in that sense, because they even made a point of that where all right, this guy, he sound, because they said on there oh, well, he just sounds like another guy from the studio, just another I think they called him a brother from the studio. So they were really they were basically saying, oh, he sounds black. Well, then oh no, but this guy is white because he's got this country tinge to what he's doing, and and then of course that guy who's his manager, what was his name, Colonel Tom Parker or whatever, he's
Colonel Clink.
Yeah, and there's this scene where his eyes gleam, and he's white, and it's actually a pretty fucking hilarious scene. Just oh my god, they try to really influence the ideas oh, I can make money off of this white boy.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It just sucks, dude, because it's there's so many good stories and there's so many things that could be told right, but it's you inject this woke nonsense, and it's just come on, man.
And that's what really made that first half of the movie really hard to watch. That all those complaints that I just made, all of that happened in the first half of the movie. Second half of the movie was about him basically having his residency in Las Vegas and becoming essentially trapped in a contract of him being stuck in Las Vegas for year after year after year, and the depression and the pills and the women, everything just kind of wore him down. And honestly, that's what a biopic is actually supposed to get into, almost back in the day when VH1 behind the music type deal. That was the shit that you wanted to see. You wanted to know what was going on behind the curtain. And to me, that's what makes a good biopic. So that second half of the movie to me was fantastic. That was awesome. So that was if I had to rate the entire movie, I give it a 6.5 total, because all right, so the second half of it was a 5 out of 5 for me. They killed it, but then that first half, it was garbage.
Yeah. It just it sucks because there's so many things. That's why the watching something like Stranger Things was so awesome to me, because there was so little, if any, woke nonsensey bullshit in there. It was just fun and nostalgic and just good writing, and that's why I like that show so much, because it's it literally did what TV shows and movies are supposed to do, that are what is it, fiction. You know what I mean? It's not. It's supposed to be fake. It's supposed to take you away from the real world.
Yeah, but call it an escape.
Yeah, you escape for a reason, and it's now if I'm watching a documentary, which I like documentaries, I like all that shit, a lot, but it's that's when I want to learn about something that happened in real life. When I just want to fucking sit there and watch something like Stranger Things, or watch Ozark, or watch Breaking Bad, or watch any of these shows that are escapism. That's what I'm trying to do is escape the real world that we're in. That's kind of crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and how about the fact that all those shows you just mentioned, none of them bring any kind of like politics or like any of the agendas into like the episodes and stuff like that? Because like, I think that that's a big part of like the escape, where it's like, all right, all the daily grind bullshit that we end up like hearing aren't like they're not existent in those worlds, which is like nice.
Yeah,
that's why Loki was easily my favorite of the Marvel shows, is because it wasn't based in like the quote unquote real world. Like they were never in the real world, so they didn't try and bring in real world politics. It was just funny and a fun adventure. And so it was super enjoyable. Like Hawkeye was pretty good, but it kind of touched on some class things. But then Falcon and the Winter Soldier was like race and inequality. Moon Knight was mental health. Like She-Hulk was She-Hulk.
Yeah, and you know, and it's
office
like,
twerking.
Yeah, exactly. Loki definitely was cool. I mean, it's Disney. They're gonna have some sort of, you know, wokish stuff or whatever, and you know, it's definitely the MCU right now. You know, they're you know, every show has turned from where, you know, Loki was supposed to be about Loki, but then it's about Sylvie. It's about, you know, the fucking woman version of Loki, and then it's like, you know, Hawkeye is named Hawkeye, but it's actually really about Kate Bishop, and it's like all these, you know, and then, you know, Falcon and the Winter Soldier is about, you know, Falcon becoming Captain America. You know, it's like, yeah, it's just it's all this stuff, and it's like, dude, can we just get good stories?
Oh yeah, that was nothing. Ian, did you see that one tweet I had this past, maybe it was this weekend, where Hulu's putting out another Hellraiser movie, but like it's gonna be with a female Pinhead?
I thought I saw something about that, and I was just like, oh my god, dude, is this fucking Elliot Page?
It's like, no, it's like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, you know, and then like you read the comments, and the comments to me were just so funny, because like everyone's just jumping into like the defense of like this show that they have not seen, and there's like, oh, did someone get their feelings hurt because they're like BDSM demonic entity is portraying itself as a female now or something like that. So it's like, well, okay, yeah, you're really kind of stretching. You're stretching with that one. Hey, Marcus, welcome to the live feed. I'm trying to acknowledge people as they come in here too, just so that way you feel comfortable enough. You want to come up in the chat, you know, by all means, do so.
Well, we actually should probably jump out.
Oh, well, yeah. Let me just wrap up with this then.
Yeah.
Because and then we'll go into all of our quick little spiels before we go into like the live feed, because we'll probably just jump right into that then too. But yeah, like so. But if you are familiar with like this backstory of like Hellraiser and whatnot, in the second movie they explain that, like, you know, Hellraiser was at one point a man. I think he was like a German soldier or something like that, or something along those lines, and like he was a human who was a man, and he became one of like those what do they call them, like Cenobites? I think they're called Cenobites, like the angel demon things. I don't know, maybe I'm showing off my nerd right now, but
yeah, I haven't watched Hellraiser in a while, so
it's one of my favorites, and honestly it's one of my favorites because Pinhead and the other Cenobites are really not that bad of guys if you really think about it. If you really ponder about this, and you realize, maybe I'll have to go further in this in the live stream, but if you really think about it, they came in and they go and they make deals with people, and like you have to honor those deals, you know, like, you know, you played with the puzzle box, all right, now you get endless torture and pleasure, like you're welcome. I don't know, like, and then they say, hey, wait, I don't want to go. Well, what kind of a deal can you make for me? I don't know, how about 5 souls for mine? You got it, sounds good. You know, like, pretty easy to work with people, if you ask me.
Yeah, right. You make a deal, you stick to it.
Yeah, or you make them a better offer. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's do our quick little spiels before getting into the live stream, because you know, now we have all of our links up on like the solo.to / the whiskey capitalist. You can go over there. Yep. We have lots of merch items, and more ideas are constantly flowing for different items on the merch store. You can go and subscribe to our podcast network. It's the Til Death Podcast Network on YouTube, where it's the Til Death Podcast, which is Ian and his wife. And then there's also the Whiskey Capitalist Podcast, which you're listening to the live chat right now. Welcome. Thank you, Western Sound Studios, for being a part of the chat. Again, you're always welcome, and we always appreciate your humor and insight to the conversation.
Yes.
Yeah, and we're gonna be going over to the live stream in just a moment here. We just made a Telegram channel, and that's gonna be a place where we're gonna be posting updates on the live streams and Twitter Spaces, just so that if there's ever a change in the schedule, you're up to date. It's pretty simple. It's just like a text message mailing list. So we got a channel now. That's t.me/thewhiskeycapitalist. Pretty simple.
Yep. And we were supposed to last week do the Stranger Things review live stream, but my body decided to say go fuck yourself and be sick. So we had to postpone it until this week. So it's going to be on Wednesday, and it's going to be the full Stranger Things review and all that good stuff. And yeah, so I think it'll be fun. We're going to break down all 4 seasons, and I rewatched them again. So
wow.
I rewatched it again so I could kind of get some more notes and stuff. I didn't really write as many notes on season 3 and season 4 as I should have, but they're the most familiar to me now. So I'll probably be able to talk about it a little bit more. But yeah, I got a bunch of good notes for season 1 and season 2.
And then we're going to share some predictions as well for season 5.
Oh yeah, I got good conversation starters, or at least kind of thinkers of what people have been saying and what might happen in season 5. So, but yeah, I think it'll be fun. Make sure once you are done with this, jump over to either YouTube or Facebook if you'd like to comment, or you could stay here on Twitter and watch. The comments don't come through on the chat on the live stream, but we're gonna be doing one of our weekly live streams right now.
That's right. All right. Well, take care, and we will be doing this again next Monday.
Every Monday.
All right.
Later, dudes.
Later.